I think it's safe to say that going your own way requires some soul searching and self-discovery. Relationships and marriages often leave men not knowing who they are anymore, as their identities were broken down by relentless emotional abuse and shaming by ex-wives or partners. This was done in an attempt to gain every beneficial facet of a man's positive character traits. Men exclusively carry certain valuable character traits that women just don't or cannot possess. Courage, loyalty, honesty, and the ability to form and sustain close and meaningful lifelong friendships. But let's focus on men. When society wishes to exploit men and compensate on our positive and valuable character traits, it will play on one or all of them to get us to conform and make sacrifices for little or no reward. On September the 11th, 2001, the Twin Towers were brought down. 343 firefighters sacrificed their lives in the line of duty to save others. Every single firefighter who died that day was a man. All of them, men. Why then do we still have to call them firefighters? Even the New York Fire Department refers to these heroes as members of the New York Fire Department. And the comments in the video link below call these men souls or just simply them, but not men. One comment says, "I think firefighters are some of the bravest people." So society clearly values men when we're acting in a way that's expected of us. But if a man dare not to enter a burning building or pick up a gun and go to war, the white feathers of shame come out, and he will be mercilessly emasculated and stripped of his masculinity for not laying down his life. Now, most men had no problem with doing this, or with working themselves into an early grave to put food on the family table. But this has always been done under the cosh of the threat of being ridiculed for not living up to the expectations placed on us for being born male. Not only does this society expect us to live up to these expectations for little or no appreciation or rewards, this present society expects us, as men, to provide, protect, and sacrifice while having a gun constantly pressed against the back of our heads to remind us that if we don't deliver the valuable services that civilization demands from us, we will be stripped of our rights. Our rights to live in our own homes are taken away, and these unsanctimonious evictions are enforced by the police, who themselves live under the same regime of misandry and are often blissfully unaware of the fact as they carry out their immoral duties. Our rights to bring up our own children are also taken away, and our children's rights to have a father and a necessary male role model are also forcefully taken by the state. So what if we, as men, demand that we are always appreciated or rewarded for the hard work and sacrifices we make? And what if we refuse to exercise these positive and powerful character traits that are in such high demand but are taken for granted and never even recognized as being exclusively masculine traits? The world needs to realize that if there wasn't a Y chromosome, then virtues like courage, honor, and truth would not exist, and there wouldn't be any heroes to enter burning buildings or fight wars. So when women try to emulate male heroics in Hollywood films and dismiss the real heroes in the real world, just see it for what it is: make-believe. Now we as men need to be wise to the game. Women know what men want and will promise the earth in return for the prize that is a good man. But in reality, the women of today haven't got the first clue about looking after or showing any degree of respect to a man of good character and virtues. This is why the shame, ridicule, threats and punishment are employed to subjugate and enslave men into roles of servitude to women. Men are coerced, bribed, threatened, assaulted and punished severely for not conforming to the thankless task of being a wage slave to an entitled narcissist and a soul-destroying life of misery. We hold the aces. We should reserve judgment and recognize whenever someone is attempting to extort from us something of worth to them without ever intending to reciprocate or even thank us for the favor. We should, in fact, say no and refuse to benefit or enrich their lives by allowing them to take advantage of us or take our virtues for granted. People hate it when you say no, especially people with entitlement issues. So be aware of that fact. And when they demand to have what we can offer as men, we make sure they pay, or they will never see anything remotely masculine from us again. We reserve the courage, generosity, integrity, honesty and support for our brothers, ourselves and our families. The system that crushes men on a daily basis can go fuck itself, and the women that have exploited men through this system and their twisted version of female empowerment can take their man-made sex toys and go and fuck themselves as well. Now there are still some women out there who think that they can manipulate MGTOW men, and there are still some MGTOW who struggle with their biological urges. But our numbers are growing, and more men are realizing that associating with women for anything other than sex will lead to the man being thrown under bus after bus to extract every ounce of worth from him. Men are continuing to walk away en masse and are undertaking journeys of self-discovery, reclaiming their identities and building lives for themselves with the positive virtues and character traits that we as men have been blessed with. So from now on, we reserve the right to act as men for our own benefit and for those who benefit us directly.